A CBS 6 weather alert this morning, tracking our next storm system, which will bring a wintry mix into the area later today, continuing through your Tuesday. I'll tell you what time to expect it and how much snow and sleet is going to fall.
All lanes now open on I-88. Breaking this morning when crews finished clearing the scene of this deadly crash and the conditions of the victims this morning.
Possibly facing a federal lawsuit. Why President Trump may soon be in trouble with a national ethics organization just days into his presidency.
6 o'clock here on your Monday morning. Thanks so much for starting your day and your week here with us on CBS 6.
A lot of stuff to get to. We'll get into those top stories in just a moment. Going to check out the forecast, though, because we have some messy weather that's heading in our direction.
Yeah, not only later today, but also potentially having an impact on the morning commute tomorrow. Let's bring in meteorologist Alyssa Carroll-Priest. She's got a look at what we can kind of expect going through the next 24 hours or so.
Yeah, so we start off quiet this morning, not really tracking much on the radar. It's going to be this evening that we start to bring that mix in. And then tonight through tomorrow, the road's really just getting worse. By tomorrow morning, not looking so hot on the road. So let's show you the radar. We are looking at the storm system that is right now well off to our south. You can see that counterclockwise spin down near Atlanta. This is the same storm system that's been bringing all of that severe weather to the southeastern corner of the country. So looking at your forecast here, I think we stay cloudy heading through the day with temperatures actually pretty mild this morning, middle and upper 30s, and we'll top out this afternoon in the upper 30s if we're lucky, a few intervals of sunshine. It's this evening that we start to bring in snow and sleet, and it falls steady overnight tonight through tomorrow morning and doesn't wind down until your Tuesday afternoon. Winter weather advisory, capital region surrounding areas, and a winter storm warning for Delaware and Otsego counties. We'll walk you hour by hour through the storm, take a look at how much snow and sleet is going to fall too, coming up in your full forecast. Guys?
Alyssa, thanks. Going to take you out here, exit 6 off the Northway. We're not looking too bad at all. Really no traffic out on the Northway, northbound or southbound sides. 511 has you accident free. That's your CBS 6 Eye on Traffic.
Breaking news out of the southern United States this morning. At least 19 people are dead after severe storms swept through the southeast over the weekend. Now that same storm system is making its way up toward us. Melissa Lee's been tracking the destruction and joins us now from the Breaking News Center with a look at the damage. Melissa?
Jack, a severe weather threat continued last night in some areas extending into the Carolinas and North Florida. Now that same storm system is heading our way. Over the weekend, a severe storm system, including apparent tornadoes, destroyed homes all the way from Mississippi to Georgia. We know 4 people were killed Saturday in Mississippi. At least 14 were killed yesterday in Georgia. Now the Georgia Emergency Management Agency, they're continuing to assess the damage, and Georgia's governor has declared a state of emergency in 7 South Georgia counties. He says this state will seek federal assistance.
3 minutes past the hour. Wicked weather also hitting the West Coast. Severe storms brought record-setting rain and flash flood warnings to California. I mean, take a look at some of these amazing rescues here. A father, mother, and their 2 kids were inside this truck when it was overtaken by those rising waters. Rescue crews throw them life jackets, and a firefighter even swims through the dangerous currents to reach them. Family was rescued one by one, and they are all doing okay. Now, this couple was rescued by jumping out of the window of their truck and onto a small Zodiac there. And this boy signaled for help as crews used a ladder to rescue him and his father from their car. Weekend storms in California dumped rain at a rate of nearly 3/4 of an inch per hour, setting new records.
Also breaking this morning, state police say 2 people are dead, several others hurt following a crash on I-88 in Princetown. According to 511, that crash happened in the area of exit 25, right near where the Pilot Travel Center is off Duanesburg Road. The crash shut down the area of I-88 for hours, causing backup overnight. But crews were able to reopen the road a couple of hours ago at 4 o'clock this morning. This is video of the crash from last night. Police tell us their preliminary investigation shows a westbound vehicle crossed onto the median on I-88 and hit an eastbound vehicle head-on. Police say they're not releasing the names of those killed until they can get in touch with their families. For the most part, it's business as usual this morning for United Airlines after a computer glitch caused the airline to ground all domestic flights for about an hour last night. The glitches are believed to have started in the Denver area, and the airline says it was an IT issue. Two sources familiar with the incident tell CNN it was a problem with the communication system that the airlines used to send information to United operations. I want to show you a live look at Albany International's arrival and departure page right now. Good news here out of Albany International. Everything looks to be on time or already off the tarmac there at Albany.
Breaking in Ohio, a prosecutor is asking that a school shooting case be moved to the adult criminal justice system. Two students were injured after authorities say a teenager opened fire at a school last week. Melissa Lee is tracking the newest details from our breaking news center, and she joins us now with the latest. Melissa?
Julia, the suspect is a 17-year-old who authorities say fired a 12-gauge shotgun Friday morning at a high school in West Liberty. That's 45 miles northwest of Columbus. Two students were hurt, one critically, during the attack that happened before school even started. A prosecutor says moving the case to common pleas court is appropriate, especially for the safety of the community. The teen will face attempted murder in addition to other charges. The West Liberty Salem Schools District plans to resume classes tomorrow.
Happening today in Colony, the man charged with leaving the scene of a deadly hit and run in Latham without reporting it is due back in court. Brian Tromans is accused of hitting and killing National Guardsman Rudy Sebron earlier this month on Waterville Shaker Road. He's currently out on bail. His lawyer says it was dark at the time and he didn't know he'd hit anyone. A funeral is happening today in Glenville for a well-known Schenectady tavern owner. Yesterday, hundreds were out to say goodbye. Heather Kovar joins us live with more on the memory of a man who, Heather, they say gave so much.
That's what they say, and they all remember him. He's a person that gave free meals for nearly 30 years on Sundays. How's that for a legacy? All right, so Donald Birch, he owned the Sawmill Tavern. He died last week at his own. People in Glenville gathered yesterday for his wake, and boy, it was quite a crowd. A former neighbor of his told us yesterday that she wasn't surprised by this turnout, saying that her friend touched so many lives.
He was always the best, one of the best men I've ever known. And then when I was an adult, my son was 2 years old. Donnie lived upstairs from me. I never felt safer. He was just one of the best people ever. He helped.
Birch is also remembered for being a motorcycle enthusiast. He was 79 years old, and according to his obituary, he is going to be buried today in Parkview Cemetery in Schenectady. Heather Kovar, CBS 6 News.
We're learning more this morning about Governor Cuomo's plan to fix some of New York's aging pipes, leaky pipes. Cuomo says that he plans to spend about $2 billion in repairs. And while that sounds like a lot of money, it's really only a fraction of the $80 billion that state experts say is going to be needed in the next couple of years. This $2 billion would go towards replacing crumbling water mains and removing lead pipes in local communities. It would also fund efforts to clean up toxic chemicals like PFOA. New York has some of the oldest drinking water and sewer systems in the entire country.
President Donald Trump is kicking off his first full week in the White House with meetings and the possibility of signing more executive orders today. As Trump meets with congressional leaders, he's hoping to tackle key issues on his legislative agenda. But so far, he only has 2 cabinet members in place. The president's pick to run the CIA is scheduled for a confirmation vote in the Senate today. And despite the slow pace of the hearings, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he's confident the entire cabinet will be confirmed. All eyes will also be on someone else today besides President Trump. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer is scheduled to deliver his first formal briefing just 2 days after taking aim at the media for what he called false reporting. But along with some potential damage control from Spicer, the president's team could also be facing a federal lawsuit. The ethics group Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, or CREW, says it will file a suit today citing a clause in the Constitution. They argue the clause should bar Trump from getting anything of value from foreign governments without congressional approval. According to a CNN analysis, Trump owns or has a position in at least 560 businesses and partnerships that have done business in at least 25 foreign countries. Ethics lawyers have repeatedly urged Trump to relieve himself of those holdings to avoid potential conflicts of interest, but Trump has previously refused to sell anything he owns.
Needing help now. We'll tell you why the Red Cross is calling on all blood donors this morning.
And take a look at this. A bus slams into a home. The object the homeowner says saved his life.
And a coastal low that will develop heading through the next 48 hours, bringing some messy weather to our local area. A combination of snow, sleet, freezing rain all on the way. I'll tell you what time it moves in and how much snow and sleet I'm expecting coming up next.
CBS 6 Eye on Traffic is sponsored by your local Farmers Insurance agent, Anthony Catalfamo. Call now for a no-obligation quote.
We're following breaking news out of Texas at 6:13 this morning, where police have arrested a second suspect in a deadly shooting at a mall in San Antonio.
We want to get over to Melissa Lee. She's in the breaking news center. She has the very latest details this morning on this shooting. Melissa?
Guys, police confirm this second person was taken into custody last night. Authorities say 2 men robbed a jewelry store at a mall in San Antonio yesterday afternoon. A Good Samaritan who tried to stop the suspects was killed. Police say 6 others were injured when one of the suspects fired shots inside the mall. A second Good Samaritan, who officials say had a licensed concealed handgun, shot and wounded one of the attempted robbers.
Taking a look now at some of the other stories topping your Monday morning headlines. In India, at least 32 people are dead and 50 others hurt after a passenger train derailed. It happened in the southern part of the country early yesterday morning. 7 cars of the express were thrown off the tracks, some landing on another train that was running parallel. Rescue workers were at the site all morning yesterday trying to cut open the mangled coaches. An investigation is underway. In Italy, rescue crews are digging through a hotel buried in an avalanche and they say there could be more survivors. They say there are still air pockets in some of the wreckage, which could be where some of the 23 still missing could be found alive. However, rain is making the snow heavy, and officials say the risk of fresh avalanches is high. So far, crews have been able to save 9 people after they were buried alive last week in tons of snow.
Patriots and Falcons are Super Bowl bound. Both teams advanced with blowouts in the conference title games. The Patriots have now earned their NFL record 9th appearance in the Super Bowl. As for the Falcons, this will only be their 2nd appearance and the first since their loss to Denver back in 1999. Go Pats.
It's now been just over a year, and there's little to no public word about what's happened to an American college student who was detained by North Korea. The communist country announced last January it had detained 21-year-old Otto Warmbier. The University of Virginia student from suburban Cincinnati was sentenced in March to 15 years in hard labor prison after he confessed to trying to steal a propaganda banner. A range of U.S. authorities has urged his release on humanitarian grounds, but many now wonder if things will change under President Trump's new administration. The State Department says it continues to actively work for his earliest possible release, calling his punishment excessively harsh.
A health alert this morning calling all blood donors. Every 2 seconds, someone in the U.S. needs a blood transfusion. And now a major blood shortage has the American Red Cross issuing an emergency call for donations. The Red Cross says bad winter weather has forced them to cancel 300 blood drives since December 1st. Donations have also taken a hit because people get busy over the holidays, and the agency says centers are now struggling to keep up with the demand. Blood and platelets are being sent to hospitals faster than the donations are coming in. The Red Cross is responsible for about 40% of the country's blood supply.
Listen and take a look at this. A stroke of good luck saved a man's life after a bus crashed into his Minnesota home. Look at it there. The man says he was napping on a couch near his front window when suddenly the bus came smashing through. The couch he'd been sleeping on was pushed back and out the side of the house, saving him. What was left of the home crumbled.
So here's what the police say happened. They say the bus had hit another car, causing it to slam into the side of the house, sending one of its passengers to the hospital. But the police say the bus also hit a gas line, causing a big explosion.
While the house will need repairs, the man says he walked away with only bruised shins and some cuts on his face. He believes it was the couch and some divine intervention that saved him from being more seriously hurt. Wow. Bus into the living room.
It's not something you want to have happen to you, that's
No.
for sure. Okay, traffic this morning. We are looking at a little bit of congestion there on the southbound side over on the right that's heading over the Twin Bridges, right? Don't we have this? This is turned in the other direction.
No, I think it's just dark. The bridge is there.
No, I mean, usually we see this camera when it's north of the Twins, it's facing north. Today, the camera is facing south.
Yeah.
Picking up what I'm putting down?
Yep.
Okay, so looks like we got a little bit of traffic there on the southbound side. That's what I wanted to get out. 511 has you accident free. That's your CBS 6 Eye on Traffic. Hey,
Jack
Alyssa.
looks very puzzled.
Jack's just smiling, just staring straight ahead. Shaking his head now.
Well, tracking our next round of some wintry weather, that is going to move in later today. It's tonight and tomorrow that the weather is going to get a bit messy. Coming from the storm system that's been bringing all of that severe weather to the southeastern corner of the country. Well, I'm still tracking this low right now, spinning near Atlanta. You can kind of see that counterclockwise spin here. It's going to track north through the mid-Atlantic and right up the New England coastline. So essentially, it's a coastal storm for us, and it brings a combination of snow, sleet, freezing rain and rain for tonight into tomorrow. Now, we've got an easterly flow in place this morning. You can see these showers that have been on the radar since overnight last night, moving in a westerly direction. A few flurries coming down Albany, Rensselaer, Berkshire counties, but most of the area starting off dry with plenty of cloud cover. And as we go throughout your Monday, I'm expecting a lot of clouds to stick around. If we're lucky, we'll see a few intervals of sunshine into the afternoon. But for the most part, not much sunshine and a whole lot of clouds going throughout your morning and your afternoon. It's not going to be till this evening that we start to see some wintry weather pushing in. So let's walk you through it here. 3 o'clock this afternoon, the area is dry. We start to bring in some snow and some sleet south of the capital region into early evening. This is 6 o'clock. And then it continues to spread north through the evening hours. 8 o'clock, still areas of a wintry mix and some snow falling. As we go through the overnight period, it becomes widespread. We're talking about snow, sleet, freezing rain, and at times may mix with just plain old rain to the south of Albany. This really is going to fall through a majority of the overnight period. It's widespread. It falls steady. The roads are going to turn messy overnight tonight and through tomorrow morning. 6 o'clock for the early risers. We're looking at areas of snow and sleet. Even 8 o'clock for the morning drive tomorrow, I think it's still falling. So the roads really not looking too great. This is snow and ice that we're going to be seeing developing overnight tonight and through tomorrow. Falls through most of the morning tomorrow. This is lunchtime here, still fairly widespread, but I am expecting it to start winding down and turn to showers going through your Tuesday afternoon. And by tomorrow evening then, most of it wrapping up. So snow and sleet accumulations from Albany on east, they're going to be a bit lighter, coating to 2 inches. I think north and west of the capital region, we'll see about 3 to 6 inches, and higher amounts up over the Adirondacks, 4 to 7 inches. 5 p.m. today through about 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Plan for messy roadways developing through the evening tonight. Slick travel begins late in the evening. Roads turn either snow-covered, icy, or slushy tonight through tomorrow morning. Morning drive is going to be extremely slippery for your Tuesday. Most difficult travel, though, will be north and west of the capital region, where we see those higher amounts developing. Temperatures this morning really not too bad, middle and upper 30s. Temperatures have actually been going up since I got in earlier, and I think highs are going to be pretty similar to where we're at right now. We might lose a few degrees throughout the morning, and then we only top out in the upper 30s due to the thick cloud cover that we'll have around all day. 7-day forecast showing for Wednesday mild temperatures. We're 42, mostly cloudy, and then I think mixed rain and snow showers Thursday through Saturday. Temperatures gradually coming down as we go throughout the week.
Okay, so tomorrow morning, the commute, you said, isn't going to be good at all.
No, I think there's going to be not just snow, but a lot of ice from sleet and freezing rain. Ugh. So you're definitely going to want to give yourself extra time tomorrow morning.
The ice, I mean, in my opinion, ice is the worst.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways, more difficult to deal with than snow.
Yeah, because you can't see it in some cases.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll keep you posted on that and complete coverage of course, all the weather in the area. All right, get ready to pay more for your cup of coffee. You might need an extra one tomorrow morning. The reason why you could soon start seeing the price go up.
The news you just don't want to hear, especially on a Monday. Finally giving us an answer, what Samsung says is the real reason behind their Galaxy Note 7 fire disaster.
CBS 6 Eye on Traffic is sponsored by your local Farmers Insurance agent, Anthony Cattle Famo. Call now for a no-obligation quote.
6:25, Samsung is blaming the batteries for its Galaxy Note 7 phones catching on fire. The company says the batteries were poorly designed and manufactured, which led to them catching on fire. The announcement was the company's second attempt to explain what went wrong with these phones. First time around, Samsung blamed its battery suppliers. Bad news if you want to get a cup of joe to wake you up in the morning. The price of coffee is on the rise. A drought in Brazil has sent some coffee futures to a 6-year high. Crops are expected to be much smaller than normal, not only in Brazil, but Vietnam and Indonesia as well. Learning more about the governor's budget proposal, the topic state lawmakers are likely to discuss tomorrow.
And what state police are telling us that 2 people are dead this morning following a crash on I-88. What police say that the driver did to cause the crash and how many people are hurt.
And our next storm system right now well off to our south, but it does track north going throughout your Monday and Tuesday, and some wintry weather moving in. Our next round of it, snow, sleet, freezing rain, and plain rain all in the forecast. What time to expect it and how much coming up.